agenda item, Sonia?
Yes, sir. Item number 2, Board of Trustee Business. A, discussion and recommendation to approve the 2021-2022 academic school year calendar. District and Northwest Early College High School.
Okay. Administration, do we have any modifications, any comments on the presented calendar for next year?
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Searles?
I haven't heard anything from administration, but it looked like an excellent calendar to me, and I'd like to move to approve as presented.
Okay, we have a motion before the board, and do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, and before we poll the board, does administration want to make any comments regarding the proposed calendar that was put before us?
No, just that it went through the district advisory committee. We worked
Okay.
with them, through our teachers and staff. Ms. Moreno has, we put it on the web. We got which one to vote for, which one they wanted, talked about the pros and cons of
Okay.
each one.
And the
Maybe
reason
they
I
had
was
any-
asking, yeah, the reason I was asking is that sometime last year, we had some of the public comment that somehow that they hadn't, that the calendar hadn't been put out to the public, but we did go through the regular committees, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All
Go ahead,
right.
Ms. Moreno.
If I may,
Yes, Ms. Moreno.
thank you, Mr. Coronado. Just to kind of let you know that we did involve as well our parents in the committee, so we can have input from all staff and committee, parent involvement in their decisions and input for the calendar of 21-22.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Moreno. All right, it does look, I'm looking at the calendar here, and I like the color coding probably better this than last time.
Yes. Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I do have a question. Is this includes as well to adopt the Northwest Early College calendar as well?
yes.
Thank you.
All right. Any further comments or questions from the board? All right, hearing none, we do have a motion for the board on this agenda item. Sonia, please. Bring it forward.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado.
Yes,
Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza.
Yes.
Mr. Payan.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mrs. Searles.
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout.
Yes.
Motion passes.
all right. Agenda item.
Yes, sir. Item B, discussion and possible action regarding the approval of a resolution of the Canutillo Independent School District Board regarding its local extension of emergency paid sick leave for the remainder of the 2020-21 school year.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Rodriguez, before you entertain any motion from the board, I'd like administration to present, please, for us on this.
Go ahead, Ms. Carrasco. This is part of the Families First COVID Relief Act.
Yes.
The federal government did not continue their COVID for families and regarding leave, once a family member or one of our staff gets the virus. So it's all a local decision in order how we handle when someone gets COVID.
Okay. And my question, Dr. Galaviz, and I don't know if our staff has been able to check on that, is that the recently passed COVID relief package by the federal Congress, did that note contain a provision extending sick leave or not?
No, sir, it did not. This act went through April 1st through December 31st. So there was no relief as far as extending the provisions that were granted during April to December. So now the districts here locally are taking it upon themselves with their boards to still allow those 10 days paid leave for those employees. And we're not adopting all of the provisions that were allowed by law. We're only allowing that the 10 days paid sick leave if they come down with COVID or if they need to be in quarantine due to an exposure. And so those are the only provisions that we're allowing for these 10 days. And that's all we're asking for until between now and the end of the school year, which would be June 30th. The reason for that is we still have, we had quite a bit of cases first semester. Thankfully we were able to bring everybody back, but just between yesterday and today, we've had 4 positive cases already. So this is still within the COVID, still within our community. We're still going to be having issues with that. And so we're wanting this to be a local extension approved by the board to be able to allow our employees, should they come down with the virus, to be able to recuperate at home safely.
Okay, now, didn't we have a provision during the school year that some of those our employees already had that?
Yes, and so if they've already had it, like I said, I consider this an extension. So if somebody has already taken advantage or has, not advantage, but has already used up their 10 days, then they, should they, last semester and now this semester, if they have a quarantine or they come down with COVID again, then they would have to use their own sick leave. This is just a one-time
Event.
usage that they can use. And of course, we do have, FMLA, all of those normal things that we have in our leave policies, all those things are still available.
Okay. And what are the, okay, so it's only the 2 situations where they test positive, where they have to quarantine because of it?
That's correct.
And what are the proof of course, the administration's requiring proof of that?
That's correct. And all of them have provided us, all the cases that we've been dealing with have provided us medical certification.
Okay. All right. And it's administration's recommendation to do this?
So, Mr. Chair? Oh,
Okay.
yes, sure.
Is that administration's recommendation?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We are recommending to move forward with this.
Have we checked to see how many of the employees have already used
Yes.
this?
Yes,
How many
we do.
employees we're talking about that this extension would cover more or less?
Yes, we do have an ongoing list through benefits, through the benefits office, and also through Dr. Reyes's office with Nurse Berumen. There is an ongoing list that we keep track of, those people that have used the FFCRA leave already.
Okay. All right. Board, any questions?
I just,
All right.
I do have a question, Mr. Coronado.
Okay, just a second, Mr. Rhodes. I think Mr. Rodriguez initially was.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
At
him.
the beginning. Mr. Rodriguez, do you have any questions or comments?
no, I was going to make the motion, but I'll wait till a question. So I'll let Ms. Searles or Ms. Trout, and then I'll make the motion.
You got it. That's fine. You did speak up first to make the motion. I'll take questions or comments at this time from the board.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I was going to ask Ms. Carrasco, please. Is it also for an eligible employee caring for the immediate family member?
If they're living in the same household and if they meet the definition of immediate family member, yes.
Okay, that was my only question, and I'll second Mr. Rodriguez's motion.
Well, he hasn't made the motion yet, Ms. Searle, so if
Oh,
you'll.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
The question that I had exactly, I just wanted to know how many employees they've been affected in the first time here. I know that we extended until June the 30th, and I do understand that it's going to be only one-time event. So I just wanted to know if it's possible to see how many employees are being taken this kind of advantage, or saying that they need it because of the situation that they had it before.
Ms. Trout, I don't have those numbers right in front of me, but I can pull together a report and send it to the board in a Thursday packet.
So thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So to clarify, Ms. Trout, you want how many employees have used all their 10 days? Oh, just you.
Yes, exactly. And because it tells me how many employees are being affected
Okay.
with this COVID. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from the board or comments? All right, if not, Mr. Rodriguez, I'll entertain your motion at this time.
I still move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion, and I believe Ms. Earls wanted to
Oh,
second
yes,
the
that is
motion
true. Yes.
before. So, Ms. Earls, do I hear a second from you?
Yes, sir. I'll
Right.
second Mr. Rodriguez's motion. Thank you.
All right,
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
there-
Dr.
don't resolutions that the board reads, is that true, Steve? Or they don't have to read it?
No, it's there in the packet. It's rather lengthy. I mean, if somebody wants to read it, we can, but it's not a legal requirement to read resolutions. Oftentimes we'll do it for ceremonial purposes.
Okay,
Usually when it involves children and whatnot, but no, it's there. It's been published, and as long as Mr. Rodriguez's motion is to approve it as presented, we can move forward.
all right, thank you.
And that is my understanding from Mr. Rodriguez, that the motion is to approve as presented and recommended by administration. All right. All right. Sonia, pull the board,
Yes,
please.
sir. Mr. Coronado,
Yes.
Mr. Hernandez,
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza,
Yes.
Mr. Payan,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mrs. Searles,
Yes.
and Mrs. Trout.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, that takes us to the next agenda item. Sonia?
Yes, sir. The next agenda item is executive session. The time is now 4:19. Discussion regarding administration's recommendation for Garcia Elementary School principal. Thank
All
you,
right.
board.
All right, everybody log off and we'll see you in a executive session.
Bye.
Tristan, how do you feel?
A lot better. I feel fine now.
You guys are live, I think.
Or
FYI.
live?
I
Okay.
believe so.
Patsy, how do you feel?
Great. I love my little computer.
Hello?
Hey, Miss Searles.
Hi, Dr. Galaviz.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You want me to hold on or she found somebody? Yes, sir. You got to see if we can figure it out. Okay.
All right, everybody back on yet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Blanca is having problems logging in. Somebody from IT is coming to help her. You got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, Blanca's back on. Okay. All right.
We call?
All right, Sonia?
Let me. Yep. Oh,
All right, sir.
All right, Sonia, give us the time the board has completed executive session.
Yes, sir. The time is now 4:39.
Okay.
Item number 4, new business. A discussion and possible action regarding administration's recommendation for Garcia Elementary School principal.
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Trout.
I would like to make a motion what was spoken in closed session, which is to move to approve Maria Teresa Alarcón for Garcia Elementary School as a principal.
All right. Do I hear a second on the motion?
I second that motion.
All right. We have a motion and a second on agenda item 4A to approve the recommendation of administration to fill the position of Garcia Elementary School Principal with Maria Teresa Alarcón. Any further comments from the board? All right, hearing none. Sonia, please pull the board.
Yes, sir. Mr. Coronado?
Yes.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Payan?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mrs. Searles?
Yes.
And Mrs. Trout?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. That takes us to next agenda item.
Yes, sir. Item number 5, and that's adjournment, and the time is now 4:41.
All right, by unanimous consent of the board, we are adjourned. Thank you, board. Happy New Year again to everybody. Stay safe. And Dr. Galavis will keep us posted on the issue with respect to COVID coming up. I'm sure we're all looking at those, the hospitalizations and the new real closely. And so we will be kept informed by administration. Thank you, board.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Happy
everyone.
New Year, everyone.
Happy
Be
New
safe.
Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.